Hey, this is Justin Isley. Welcome to The Lawyer on YouTube. Today we're going to be discussing PPP loan fraud. What is PPP loan fraud? How can it affect you? Obviously you found this video because you're curious about it. You may have someone you know that's charged with it, or you're worried that you may be investigated for it. So let's talk about 5 things you should know if you're facing PPP loan fraud charges or an investigation. None of this is legal advice. What was the PPP loan program? As we all know, the PPP loan program was enacted to help small businesses get through the pandemic who were suffering greatly from a lack of business because no one was going anywhere, no one was doing anything, and many businesses had a hard time staying afloat. The federal government, through the Small Business Administration and banks, gave out millions and millions and millions of dollars to small businesses. And what they did is they based the loan amount on previous income that the business had generated, used a multiplier to produce a number that was then given to them as a loan. Generally, these loans were forgivable. You just had to follow the rules. And so it was a great program that actually kept many small businesses afloat during a pretty terrible pandemic, which thankfully it looks like we're starting to come out of. Now that you know about the PPP loan program, you need to know what could be going wrong if you're being under investigation or you're facing charges. So let's start with our second point. PPP loan fraud can be prosecuted under numerous federal laws. There is a federal crime for bank fraud. There is a federal crime for loan fraud. There's a federal crime for wire fraud. There's a federal crime for mail fraud. There are federal crimes for computer fraud. The moral of the story is, when it comes to PPP loan fraud, the federal prosecutors have plenty of ways to prosecute you. And so if they find out that you did something illegal, there will be no problem in them prosecuting your case. Our third point on PPP loan fraud is that there are multiple ways that people have been caught and even have already been convicted of committing PPP loan fraud. Obvious way this happens is when they ask for your income amount that you give a fraudulent number. Unfortunately, there are many cases that have been reported where people gave fraudulent income for previous years and quarters, and because that is the basis for which they got the loan, people were unfairly enriched and given money that they didn't deserve under the loan program, and people are already serving prison terms for such fraud. Other ways that you can commit the loan fraud is to create documents out of thin air or make up businesses that really didn't exist. What the government has shown is that because there was so much money available, people were making up businesses that really didn't exist before the PPP loan program came into being. And so people wanted in on that quick, fast money. They pretended like they had a business that had been in existence and that was suffering when really there wasn't any employees. Number 4 on our list is of things that you should remember about PPP loan fraud is this is a federal crime. My partner and I have been practicing federal criminal defense for decades. We have handled hundreds and hundreds of federal criminal cases. And what you need to know is there is no parole in the federal system. If you are sentenced to prison, you will go to prison and there is no parole officer for you. The 5th and final thing you need to know about PPP loan fraud is that the President of the United States, President Biden, in his State of the Union address just yesterday on the 1st of March 2022, said that his federal prosecutors are making it a #1 priority to prosecute PPP loan fraud. In fact, he has appointed a czar, a guru, a task force leader simply for the purpose of prosecuting PPP loan fraud. I want to finish this video by saying is if you are under investigation, even before a criminal case, you need to consult with a criminal defense attorney, preferably one that has federal criminal defense experience. You need to know anything you say during the investigative process, if they're investigating your loan application, could be used against you in your federal criminal case. You should be consulting with an experienced federal criminal defense lawyer from the moment you have any concerns about being investigated for federal PPP loan fraud. If you found this video helpful, please like, subscribe, and leave a comment. If you are unfortunately in the position where you need a federal criminal defense attorney because you believe you are under investigation or a loved one is, you can click the link to our website below. We offer free consultations for federal criminal cases. Until next time, remember, always, every time, without a doubt, never, ever, ever, not once, don't even think about it, talk to the police without your lawyer.